It's the 24th of January 2015 and today we're looking for a lichen called Ramalina farinacea. Okay, right, to start with, this video is kind of a remake of a video I used to have up on my channel, but in that video I failed to differentiate between Ramalina farinacea and another lichen that's very similar and has very similar properties called Evernia prunastri, and somewhat conveniently there's a stick on the ground here with both species on it. So really the main difference is well, this is the one, this is Ramalina here, and it has spore producing bodies on the margins of the thallus. The thallus is what you call the fleshy part of a lichen. Whereas this here is Evernia prunastri, which has spore producing bodies on the underside of the thallus there. So that's the main difference in how to tell them apart. And this one is also quite often known as oak moss. So yeah, in this video really everything that I'm saying about Ramalina also applies to Evernia. Now lichens have quite an interesting biology. They're part fungi and part alga. They're a symbiotic relationship between the two. A lichen starts out life as a fungal spore or mycobiont which lands on a suitable substrate. However, it can't survive like this for long and needs help to capture energy from the sun. It does this by waiting for a suitable photobiont, in this case an alga, to come into contact. Once in contact, the two grow into each other and share nutrients. The fungus receives sun energy from the alga, and the alga receives substrate nutrients from the fungus. Both now have all they need to replicate and grow, and the result is a growing lichen. As you can see, these trees are covered in lichens. This is Xanthoria parietina here, and this is some kind of Parmelia species here. One thing a lot of lichens have in common is they contain usnic acid, which is a very useful medicinal substance. Lichens contain various acids that primarily help them digest the substrate on which they grow. These acids also absorb ultraviolet and so protect the fungal part of the lichen from sunlight, as well as tasting very bitter, which may deter herbivores. Usnic acid, which is present in Ramalina, has been shown to be antibiotic against Streptococcus, tuberculosis and pneumonia bacteria, as well as possessing antiviral, anti-inflammatory and preservative qualities. Now, most lichens are non-toxic. There's very few which are known to be toxic, although they are quite understudied. The problem with eating lichens is they're very slow growing, and so they're prone to picking up pollution. These cladonias may have been exposed to banned pesticides, leaded petrol and Chernobyl fallout in their lifetimes. With Ramalina, this problem is avoided because it grows more quickly. But as you can see here, with this stick here, this can't be more, I mean that's how thick it is compared to my finger, it can't be more than 2 years old, and that's already a reasonably sizable Ramalina growing on there, so it's quite fast growing and avoids that problem. And another good thing about Evernia here and Ramalina as well is they grow in this kind of branched fashion, and you can't really mistake them for anything else. You can't really mistake them for anything toxic, at least. Ramalina can be really variable and can look like this, or sometimes much finer and almost like another lichen called Usnia, but that's not toxic either. And the good thing to know about lichens is they contain a lot of carbohydrates. They're absolutely packed with carbs. Pound for pound, lichens contain more carbs than potatoes. Now, another good thing about this is it's very common, and it was also eaten in Bosnia by the Bosnians who were refugees and didn't get aid, and they were living off wild foods, and this was one of the wild foods they're eating, so it's tried and tested as a wild food, but it does need preparation. Lichen acid not only tastes bitter, but will give you stomachache if eaten raw. Ramalina is less acidic than most, but the acid still needs to be neutralised. This can be done by soaking or boiling it in water, ideally with an alkali such as bicarbonate of soda or with wood ash. Aside from being medicinal and edible, lichens can also be quite beautiful.